Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. Hello, Internet, and welcome to Gaming Gumbo. It's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means twitch.tv/Ready Check Radio. We're here with your weekly gaming wrap-up. Chat's ready to chime in. Chiming in with the pre-show. If you like Cheetos mac and cheese, gingerbread Mountain Dew, or flaming hot Mountain Dew, you're literally just awful. Like, you're just awful. You're the worst type of person. You don't want to miss our pre-show. If you've got a chance to check it out live, great. If you're watching on YouTube, Ready Check Radio, or listening on iTunes, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, all that fun stuff, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Even if you like some of those aforementioned products, you're not horrible enough that we don't want you to click the like button or the subscribe button. Go ahead and give them a click while you're there. Throw a comment down below. Let us know what you think. And if you like what we do here and you want to help support us, it's fast, it's easy, it's free. And then just go tell a friend. ReadyCheckRadio.com, upper right-hand corner, has all the socials. Yeah, it was 7 p.m.-ish. Yeah, Jeez, it's 7 p.m.-ish. Mad Martha, we were talking about those foods pre-show. Mad Martha, they could make them, so they did, but no one asked if they should. Yeah, it is very Jeff Goldblum, Jurassic Park, gentlemen. It's like, you stood on the shoulders of giants and you just made the Cheetos mac and cheese. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. It's a hodgepodge of gaming stuff today. Here to go over it with me is resident Ready Check Radio artist Yad. How are you?
All right. I made some art for my computer box.
I see that. You got a little skull there.
Yes, a little bunny skull. But also, have they made Mountain Dew mac and cheese flavor yet?
Oh.
Or mac and cheese Mountain Dew flavor? I mean, which one? Which way would you go with that?
Okay. Okay. All right. So hold on. Let's introduce Dom, and then we'll talk in a second. What's up, Dom? How you be, sir?
No, I want to get right to this question.
Okay. So
I just exist.
There is a YouTube video by Mr. Happy, not that Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy 0121, so somebody just kind of capitalizing on the name, I guess, on how to make Mountain Dew flavored mac and cheese. That's not what I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
What I wanted to tell you is that there is actually a Mountain Dew recipes website, apparently. Recipes.mountaindew.com.
Okay.
I don't know if this is it. The PepsiCo copyright is on this site, so this is them.
Wow, it's official?
Yes, and I am looking at Mountain Dew grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Oh.
Hold on, I got to pull up the B-roll.
Oh, no. Oh no!
We gotta add something in here real quick.
Oh no!
I swear, guys, we'll get to games at some point.
We always say that, but then we talk about our cable bills for half the show.
Did
you cut the cord?
I haven't cut the cord. Look at this monstrosity of food item.
That looks awful. Like, that looks like Slimers in the middle of a grilled cheese.
Ingredients. 8 slices of white bread. Somebody's making 4 of these fuckers. 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, half a cup of cream cheese at room temperature, 6 drops of neon green food coloring, 1 can of Mountain Dew, 12 ounce, half a stick of butter at room temperature, and then another half a stick of butter at room temperature. Pour Mountain Dew into a small saucepan, reducing the amount to 1/4 of a cup. In a mixing bowl, do your cream cheese, cheddar cheese, food coloring until the food coloring is evenly mixed throughout and it looks like snot. Add the mixture to the reduced Mountain Dew, stirring constantly on low heat until the cheese is completely melted. Spread butter to each slice, add salt, toast in a hot nonstick pan. Add the cheese and Mountain Dew mixture to each slice. Make the sandwich by gently pressing the two sides together.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Oh, Mad Martha, I just threw up a little. And the thing is, it'll probably look the same coming out. Like this goes in and comes out the same. Oh,
that is
my
unnatural.
God.
That is totally
absolutely
unnatural.
I love that food coloring is an ingredient in that.
Right?
Yeah, they're like, hey, the Mountain Dew actually isn't going to make it green. So you're going to need to dye that shit. It's like when they throw blue dye in water sources.
Isn't Mountain Dew like not even green to begin with? It's like yellow?
Yeah, it's like yellow. Because it's just citrus.
Yellow.
Yeah, it's just citrus. That's all it is.
It's pea yellow. Let's face it. It's pea yellow.
It's just citrus. But they want to make it look like the bottle, I guess. We don't want it to look like Mountain Dew. We want it to look like the Mountain Dew bottle. And
my God.
we would be remiss if we told you to go ahead and melt the plastic bottle and throw it in. So go ahead and use colored dye. All right, that was absolutely atrocious.
With the bottle in there.
You know what? I'm just going to see if anybody's paying attention on YouTube, and I'm going to put that entire segment in its own timestamp.
The gumbo portion of Gaming Gumbo.
Yeah, it's your weekly gaming food recipe.
Is this a new series that we just started?
Yeah, we'll see how many people notice or say something in the comments or whatever on our brand new segment, Gaming Gumbo's weekly gaming food recipe. And we'll see.
Food recipe of the week.
Hey, programming note before we get started here, gang. Remember, next week we will be live. It'll be Zista, myself, and Troy. But then we'll all be off on the 18th. No show on Saturday the 18th. Dom, I'm catching you up here too because I hadn't had a chance to talk to you yet. No show on the 18th. You would have been off anyway because that is Torchwick's graduation party. So gotcha. Nothing that day. And then the 25th would normally be Yod and Troy to go back into our rotation, but Troy's out. So we'll actually start with Yod and Dom and then back to 2 on, 1 off. So show next week. Off the following week is all you need to know, dear viewer. Gaming news this week, gang. Obviously, the big one was Sony's State of Play, a half hour of trailers and goodness, depending on whether you liked anything or in it or not. Let's start it off. We are actually going to review most of the show here and give you our gut reactions. They kicked it off with the Resident Evil 4 remake, coming out in March of 2023, so you've only got about 9 months to wait for this one. Obviously, Yad and I, huge Resident Evil fans, so we'll go to you first, Dom, because I actually don't know your status on Resident Evil.
I've always really enjoyed the Resident Evil games. However, I stopped playing them for a very long time. The last one I had played up until recently was Code Veronica on the Dreamcast when I owned the Dreamcast. So you played
the original Dreamcast one?
Yeah. And then within the last 3 years, I went back during October streams and I caught up. I've played all of them now. All right. So 4, I think I just played 2 years ago. So it's relatively fresh in my head. And at the time of playing it, they were talking about, possibility of a remake for 4, and playing through it, I'm like, I really don't think it needs a remake. It's pretty damn good. It still holds up in my opinion, but I wouldn't be upset if they remade it. I was like, I might not play it since I literally just played this one, but I don't know. I might. I don't know yet.
Yeah. So when they did the Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 remakes,
those were necessary.
1 and 2 were fantastic. I loved them. 3 was a little less than stellar, in my opinion, as far as the remakes go. That one felt a little rushed and not quite as polished as the previous 2. But yeah, you're right. I mean, those were the PS1 era. They definitely benefited from a remake. Well, and then when 4 was rumored, I was kind of like, the same as you. I was like, does that really need one yet? I mean, granted, sure, you could update the visuals a little bit, but I will buy this 100%. And I loved this trailer. I love this
Oh, yeah.
trailer. It looked like they were like striking a decent balance between updating and polishing some systems, but sticking to the core of what made Resident Evil 4 great. Here's the thing. I would have rather seen, and I know why, right? But I would have rather seen, speaking of it, Code Veronica remade.
Yes.
I think that was an underappreciated, not widely distributed or played Resident Evil that I think could greatly benefit from a remake and a new audience. Now, obviously, I understand why they chose Resident Evil 4 Yod over Code Veronica, the cheddar dollar, right?
Of course, of course.
They're going to sell millions of these things. So, yeah, I'll definitely buy it. I was very happy to see it. I loved the trailer. It looked great. It sounded great. I can't wait to get my hands on it. But there's a small part of me that was like, oh, let more people see Code Veronica.
I'm curious what new stuff they're gonna like weave in, because they added a couple little extra details into the newer remakes. So it's like, because we know that Village and 4 actually like very much link up in terms of the story. I wonder if they're gonna throw some more nods to the actual Village in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, Village is basically like just a
direct
retelling of 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like there's so many similarities, and I said that while we were streaming the whole game. Go ahead, Yod. You were going to jump in there.
I really think they're gonna link it a little bit more, because it seems like they're trying to. One of the reasons, other than dollar bills, is that they really want to link all these together in one cohesive universe. So I think they're gonna add a few more special scenes in there and stuff that matches up to Village, which is.
You excited about this one, Yod?
I am, and I'm gonna watch the hell out of it when you stream it.
Yod watched every episode of The Village and Biohazard streams. He watched both of them. Village, it was like, wait, are you streaming Village tonight? I said, yeah, we're just going to keep going until we beat it. Oh, okay, cool. I'm on.
But see, I actually would like a remake of Resident Evil 1, because the first remake is still like the original remake from the GameCube, right? It's really old still, and 0 I would like a remake of as well. I don't know, like 5? Resident Evil 5, like, I think that could actually benefit from a remake. I felt 5 was a little weak in terms of like the gameplay itself, and having an overhaul of that, I think, would be in its best interest. But I think it would have to stop there. Like, you can't remake 6 and 7. So like the remakes have to end at 5 if they're going to do them. Maybe go back and do 0 and 1.
I mean, I think. Do you think they may remake 5? I probably wouldn't. I
probably wouldn't either, but I think it would benefit them too.
I think
that was a pretty divisive game. It wasn't a great seller. It was.
Well,
you get a high res punching of boulders, I guess.
There's a slight jumping off to the next part, is that they seem to be making all of these compatible for VR. Because the VR2
slowly,
content also in development. Yeah. So they may go back and remake the other ones so they are all compatible with VR.
Yeah, and that was what they did next in the show, and I'll just keep letting the B-roll for RE4 show here for you. They did talk about the PlayStation VR 2. They did not give a release date for it, but if you kind of watch, because they revealed 4 games for it, and if you kind of watch when those games are coming out, then it kind of tips that the PSVR 2 has to be early to... late Q1 to early Q2 of next year, 2023, as far as the actual units themselves releasing. Because first up was Resident Evil Village.
Right.
Which, okay. Biohazard on the PSVR was badass. It was badass. And then they do have the Resident Evil 4 VR, which I haven't had I own, but I haven't had a chance to play yet. And that was pretty well received. And it was almost, kind of like, wait a minute, why isn't Village VR capable when it came out? Like, why was there no VR version of this? So it is nice to see that for the PlayStation or the PlayStation VR 2. I'm not all enthused about having to buy another fucking helmet. I already have the PSVR. I already have the Oculus Quest 2, and now I'm going to have to get the PSVR 2. But if they just take away the 40 cables that hooks that thing up and give me one or something, yeah.
At least one that goes to a squid Just plug
Right.
into all their stuff.
Right. They also showed off Walking Dead Retribution, a VR version of No Man's Sky, and Horizon Call of the Mountain, that kind of offshoot story to the Horizon thing. The only one I really cared about personally was Village. I'm probably not going to buy it. Maybe like a year or two down the road when it's like a deep sale and I'm looking for something to mess around with on my PSVR 2.
You can grab things in that game with your hands.
Yeah, so they are. Yeah, so they did we've seen like their controllers are experimenting with haptic finger stuff. So that's probably that's terrible wording. That is terrible wording. That's terrible wording. Sony experimenting with butt stuff.
Not stuff, finger stuff.
Yeah.
Get it straight there.
Anyway, yeah, being able to identify each individual finger on the user's hand so that then they can emulate that and pick things up, stuff like that. So, I mean, I could see myself spending time just standing looking up at things.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know, what, but maybe, like,
Mad
I don't know.
Martha does.
Mad Martha wants to get stepped on. Get stepped on. I couldn't care less about Walking Dead Retribution. I am so personally over The Walking Dead in just every way, shape, or form.
I stopped watching that show when they introduced the tiger, and I was done at that point.
I'm too far in on the show. I've got to finish it.
I feel like maybe someday I'll go back, but I'm not interested anytime soon.
I'm going to tell you something about Mike Byrne here. I have attempted to watch the first episode of The Walking Dead no less than 8 times in my life. I cannot make it through.
I will say season 1 is really rough. I did not enjoy season 1 at all. I don't know how that show got greenlit for more seasons based on the first season. It was just was not good.
Comic fan.
It's like one of those things. Like I've never read. Well, I can't say that. I have read one Harry Potter book, the very first one, and I was like, that was cute. I really don't care about any of this.
I will say season 2 I loved though, so like that's the juxtaposition there. It like you have to get through 8 or 10 episodes to get to where it's good, and I hate trying to even recommend something and be like, you have to suffer for 8 hours to enjoy it, and like that's never a good feeling.
So Jason Winter talks about that, like when it comes to games. It's like, why is Endgame? Oh, it's totally different. Screw that. Make the rest of the game fun. Yeah. Like getting there fun. Why do I have to grind through 70 levels? I'm like that with TV shows. I do give TV shows like a little leeway. I do give you like 2 to 3 episodes because I understand you're trying to usually in shows you're trying to establish your core characters. Right, and you're just trying to, rather than a lot of plot, you're trying to establish the character. So I'll give you a couple of episodes. Walking Dead episode 1, I don't know what it is. I cannot make it through there. Multiple times I've just shut it off, and I'm just like, nah, I'm done. And there have been a couple of times I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep.
Yeah.
I honestly think it was how they translated the story from one medium to another, because sometimes it doesn't work. It's sometimes when you go from they are both visual mediums, the comic book and the TV show, but you can't go shot for shot, but sometimes you go too far in the opposite direction, and it's just
but do you know who's done that? You know who, in my opinion, has done that well?
Who's that?
Right here, Lock and Key. Lock and Key.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some stuff's truncated for the show, but
right.
Or you get ahead of the source material, like Game of Thrones, and then everything goes downhill. I think that might actually be why Walking Dead's comic ended as much as it did, as quick as it did, because they knew the show was going to catch up and they didn't want to run into a Game of Thrones situation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, another one I have no intention of buying on VR.
Smooth transition.
I own No Man's Sky. And I will give it full credit for becoming something a lot better than it started out with. But I have never just had the compulsion to go back and revisit it. I can appreciate, like, writing for gaming websites, the changes and improvements that they have made, and if it's your thing, cool. I'm glad they made it better for you. I just got too much stuff to go back.
I heard the, like, newest update, like, completely almost changed the genre of the game. I don't know. I haven't played the game at all, so it's just what I read.
And I have no desire to buy Horizon Call of the Mountain. Like, the VR stuff, while I'm certainly going to buy a PSVR 2, this lineup, Yod, didn't do a damn thing for me, besides maybe being interested at some point in checking out Village, but not enough to be like, oh, I got to pre-order that.
Yeah,
having not played No Man's Sky, I think I might like that game in VR.
Mm-hmm.
But Village... I enjoy watching those games more than playing them, as Mike knows.
Yeah.
Horizon, it's an interesting universe. Maybe someday. Walking Dead, never really cared for the game series, so yeah.
I don't know. I have motion sickness, so I tend to stay away from VR in general. I have it really bad to the point where if I'm, like, in the passenger seat of a car and I look at my phone, I start feeling nauseous. So VR, I feel, is not for me. And just watching the trailer for Horizon already made me feel like I would absolutely puke if I put that thing on.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Also, not having forearms bugs me on
Mm-hmm.
the games. They need the forearms to go with the hands.
Oh, come on. You're an artist. You know what's going on there and why. Come on.
Yeah, it needs to have the freaking forearms.
Your immersion.
Exactly.
My immersion.
Breaking the immersion. You can't do that. It's just like the Star Trek Bridge Commander one where it's got the limp wrists going on. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Spider-Man Remastered coming to PC in August.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic PlayStation game. And I'm not a superhero guy. You all know that. But absolutely loved Spider-Man Remastered. Can't wait for you to play it on PC. Obviously, I'm not going to buy it. I beat the hell out of it. I think the only thing that stopped me from platting it at the time was I was like, yeah, I'm not doing all these little... I had 2 trophies left to get, and they were like, clear all these little side mission things. I was like, nah, I don't care enough. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I platinumed the game twice.
Wow.
Torchwick platted it because he's a maniac like that. He was like, I don't want to do them. And I'm like, then don't. It's a video game. And he's like, I got to get the plat, though. And I'm like,
I platinumed it on PS4 and then again on PS5.
Nice.
So yeah, we start to see a little bit more of Sony, and their PC plans here.
Yep,
They're going to sell a boatload of units here, help them get to that $300 million mark that they're trying to look at on the PC side of things.
I'm glad they're bringing this over, but where's Miles Morales? Like, why release that as a separate game? Like,
it'll
why? Like, it should be a double pack. Just release it right off the bat.
Yeah. Why when you can sell both of them?
Exactly.
I'm telling you right there. That's why.
Dollar bills.
Maybe they'll
Dollar
coincide
bills.
it with Spider-Verse 2 or something.
So that's coming in August. And then we get to what might be the favorite of many.
Yes.
The favorite. I know if Jason Winter was still doing this show, this is what we would have spent the hour talking about.
We wouldn't be talking about mac and cheese?
No. This is Stray, coming out on July 19th. Now, there's also the caveat that if you are a PS Plus Extra or higher member, you're going to get the game for free. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't have the Extra or higher. I just have the base tier, so I'll end up having to buy this. This was one that when we saw it teased, I think it was a former State of Play, maybe like 6 months or whatever ago. Yeah, it was you, Jason, and I. And this was his like takeaway game from the State of Play at that point. And I would imagine, I mean, he's cheering in chat, so I'm guessing that this is still his takeaway game. We still don't know a lot about it. Like, it looks cool. It looks neat, Yod, but like, what do we know about it?
Same thing we knew 6 months ago. You're a cat. You wander around. You do cat things. I mean, it's got my wife hooked. You're a cat. You do cat things.
Well, your wife was actually a little upset at this too, though.
Yeah, because the when the cat goes around and like it's actually coming up on my screen right now, knocks the little bottles off the ledge. It's like cat doesn't knock shit off, knock stuff off a ledge like that. So apparently, the knocking stuff off of with using a cat is not up to her standards.
I can see that. I have one cat where it's like you put anything on the table and it's like, no, this is my table. Boom. Get off. It just swats it right off.
Yeah. Literally, like if you go read the PlayStation blog on it, they talk about like how many people on their team were cat owners and how like they really spent a ton of time on the controls because they knew that they had to get that. And they were like, but you still don't get any more than like, hey, you got a drone on your backpack. Or you got a backpack and you got the drone that follows the cat everywhere. Just go and explore the environment as a cat. Just go.
I don't think it really needs any more than that. I mean, it's a cat. You get to play a cat.
Now, this is a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, those of you planning for or hoping for a PC release aren't going to see that. So you got to break out your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. Oh, Meekins, I don't need to be a cat to do cat things.
Like take cat naps?
Oh. Give you some applause. And follow it up. Like that. Jason's saying it's on Steam. Is it? Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, then my bad. Yeah, you can get it on Steam on sale right now for $26.99 if you want to pre-purchase it. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't take the PlayStation blog that's in the show notes as the only place that it would be available. Of course, they aren't going to say, yeah, it's available somewhere else, too. So there you go. A little bit of Stray in your life. Honestly, as dumb as it is, I'm curious. I'm curious enough, Dom, that I'm gonna give him $30. I'm gonna give him $30. Yeah, I'm $30 curious to see where this goes.
You heard what curiosity does to cats, right?
Yeah. Are we just gonna keep going with the cat puns? Is that what it is?
Can we get the wong again?
I mean, you brought me onto the show. You should know what you got yourself into.
I mean, the game could be pretty bad, right? Like we don't know enough, but let's just stay positive, okay? Let's just. What? Oh, I'm not allowed to do it.
No,
you are.
No,
you are
because when you do it, it's a dad joke. When I do it, it's a pun.
When you do it, it's just clawful.
We'll go back and talk about mac and cheese and Mountain Dew already.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give them $30 for that pussycat. What else do we got? Oh, yes,
your thing. This is your thing. This is totally your thing.
Callisto Protocol coming out now December 2nd. This is a day one purchase. Day one purchase. No doubt. This trailer was gruesome. It was absolutely gruesome, and I was there for every minute. I'm all for it. I cannot wait to see this one. And then just a month later, Yod, I get, with no delays, I get my Dead Space remake. Yes. So like my survival horror / space stuff, love it.
Yep. This is absolutely what I want the Doom series to be. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm a hockey guy. I am. Those jokes are penalty box worthy. Chat trying to give me 2 minutes.
I agree, chat.
2 minutes in the box.
2 minutes in the litter box.
Yeah. I can't wait for Callisto Protocol. I don't think there's a lot to say here. We've talked about it for a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
This is definitely one I'll be streaming. I know Havoc has already said, like, you gotta stream that one. He's kind of like Yad, where he likes to watch those types of games be played from start to finish.
Yeah.
Then we got Roller Drome, which kind of another title that was just like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
Strap on your roller skates and get a gun. And by the way, if you want to reload, you got to do tricks.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one's for me, but I looked at it and I was like, that's kind of neat. I'm sure some people are going to like that. It was very like TV, like almost like a Smash TV type thing, where it's a blood sport type thing.
Yeah, like remember Rollerball?
Yeah.
Like, why not just get that franchise? Like, come on, that can't be that expensive to get the rights to.
Because they want guns, Dan.
Can you imagine a Rollerball
really
game?
Weird cell shading done on it.
Omi's gonna come and watch Callisto Protocol. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Cool. I have viewers 6 months from now. Sweet.
Perfect. Lining them up now.
Just line them up now. That's the way
you even got even more because you got some lined up for Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh yeah,
that's true, and that's in August.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. We'll have to bring the PlayStation 5 back down. I took it upstairs and we were doing some stuff up there, so I'll have to bring it back down. Yeah, so Roller Drome, I don't know, Yad. I would think that when I was looking at that, honestly, what I thought right away, I was like, Yad probably thinks this art style is neat. Like it is a very stylized art style.
It is definitely very interesting. I just think it looks like it needs one more pass on the render engine. I don't know why, but to me it just looks like it needs that little bit extra shadows or something to really punch it.
Did they get the idea from the Mad Max film? That's Thunderdome.
Yeah.
That's Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Eternites, early 2023, kind of... Yad, I'm going to let you go with this one.
Oh my god.
This is not one I get at all.
Nope. Me either.
I mean,
action game meets dating sim.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It's very anime.
Oh, what? You think?
Yeah, the wife and I were sitting there. We're watching the trailer, and the trailer didn't, to me at least, didn't really push the dating sim aspect as much until the end. Like, it showed a lot of fantasies, type of deal where you're doing normal fantasy game type stuff. And then at the end, it's like, you can choose, all your boyfriends or whatever. And we're like, wait.
See,
what?
I don't know, because when I was watching the entire trailer, I was like, there's going to be a squid somewhere. I just know there's going to be a squid somewhere.
You're not wrong.
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's coming.
I will be upset if there isn't a squid, because there has to be a squid.
This one's not for me. I'm just right there now. This one's not for me.
I watched the state of play after it already aired, and this is one that I skipped right over. I just seeked past it.
I might check it out. Just to
see.
Check it out.
If you check it out, stream it. Stream it. Well, I mean, make sure it's okay. Like I don't know the rating on it or anything yet. I mean, it's not gonna be. It's Sony. It's not gonna be anything crazy. But go ahead and stream it. I'll give you a stream key. Street Fighter 6 coming out in 2023. Now, so here's the thing. I'm not a huge fighting game guy. I enjoy them. I'm just not terribly good at them. And I do prefer like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter versus something like a Smash Brawl or like a Brawlhalla. I'm not into the 4-person and bigger
Tekken?
brawlers. Tekken, I'm like
Tekken.
I love my favorites. Actually Soul Calibur, but
I was just gonna say Soul Calibur.
Yeah, Soul Calibur is my favorite. Again, but I'm not very good at them. I have friends that are extremely good at them. One of them just won Combo Breaker this past week.
Nice.
So I have friends that have like tried to teach me to be competent at them, and I'm like, I don't care. Smash these buttons, yeah, I win. So that's my level. But I do enjoy this. Apparently, this one getting mixed feedback. I'm certainly not the person to be like, this is going to be great or this is going to be awful. I actually really liked the style, the aesthetic, the art of this one over some previous ones. I still think their logo's garbage. The Street Fighter 6 logo is still garbage. And should have
changed that though.
They tweaked it a little bit. All they did was they rotated it 90 degrees and then edged some of it so that when they animated it, an S and a 6 come slapping down and then rotate as part of the animation of the logo. They made some slight improvements. It's still garbage though. I don't like it. I did like the art style a lot of, and then by the way, like almost the entire, or if not the entire roster got leaked.
Yep.
Like within 24 hours of this whole thing going up.
Right.
So I'm going to reserve judgment on this. This is definitely a game Torchwick is going to want on day one. I don't really buy fighters on day one. I get them after a few months when they're on sale and stuff like that. But I will end up getting it. Torchwick will probably want this one day one, so I'll let him review it. Are you guys into fighting games?
I enjoy pretty much strictly like Mortal Kombat because I enjoy the story. Street Fighter never really had a story mode to my knowledge, and if they did, I've completely missed it this whole time. But Mortal Kombat was always focused on the story, always, and that's just where I went. So
the Street Fighter story was more off game than on game.
Yeah.
So I can see where I was missed. A lot of it is done in comics, or there was the Street Fighter 2 animated movie back in the day. There was a TV anime that was called Street Fighter 2 V that was pretty bad. But I mean, it was one of the quintessential fighting games of my childhood. So
Street Fighter 2 is just so good.
Right. I remember going to Los Angeles back in '92, and my dad had a friend who had, I think it was a Neo Geo system, home system, with the game Fighting Street, which was the home version of Street Fighter. And then we went to Vegas from LA, and at the casino they actually had an original Street Fighter machine, Street Fighter 1. That we tried out, and we just sat there for hours trying to pull off a fireball, and the controls were so terrible that you couldn't do it. Then there was also the big Street Fighter 2 machine up top that everybody was putting their quarters down as, trying to challenge this one dude that was playing Ken, and was so awesome. And my brother ended up putting his quarter down, chose Chun-Li. He had never played the game before. Chose Chun-Li because she was the only girl there, and beat the crap out of the guy with one button.
Yep, that sounds about right.
He had no idea what he was doing. But he was basically jumping on one side of him, doing a strong kick, jumping on the other side of him, doing a strong kick, and he couldn't do anything. Because all he was doing all the fancy fireball, dragon punch, all those fancy moves, but if you can't stand up, you can't do those moves, and he wasn't blocking. So, that was some good times.
Then we got some indie darlings. We've got Tunic, which you can play on PC now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's on Steam, but it's coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 September 27th. This is one I meant to buy.
Yeah, same.
A while ago, and forgot about it. If you're into Zelda, particularly older school Zelda, like I actually might have bought it and just not gotten a chance to play it. Let me boot up Steam real quick.
I mean, it's very Zelda with the tunic, literally the sword, the shield. It looks like Link.
Yeah. So this is very Zelda-esque. You can get it on Steam right now. I definitely watched the trailer and I was like, wait, I feel like that came out already.
Yeah.
Like, didn't that come out already? And I had to look it up, and it was like, yeah, it's coming. Sorry about the Steam chime there. It totally came out. So let me check my library here. Do I have Tunic? If not, I totally meant to buy this.
Mm-hmm.
And I am definitely going to buy it. I'm a huge Zelda guy. I have not bought it. So we're gonna go and pick that up. Maybe I'll stream that next week. The other one we got to see was Season: A Letter to the Future, which, again, highly stylized, very... like gameplay of capturing images and sounds throughout the world, and I mean, it looks intriguing. Not a lot there as far as what's going on,
Right.
but certainly an intriguing trailer, I thought.
It was the style was definitely interesting, but I want to know more about what the game's about. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Seasoned by the people who brought you Darwin Project.
It's that whole cell shading stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, is that seriously by the same company that did Darwin Project? I remember Jason and I covering Darwin Project over at MMO Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same one. Wow, I didn't know that.
But then we
all of a sudden, Scavenger Studio. That's not Darwin Project. Scavenger Studio. Our game. Oh, it is Darwin Project. Oh, I'm confusing it with Scavengers the game. My bad. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Darwin Project. Fun stuff. Not the game Scavengers. Yeah, Jason knew where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously they capped the show off with Final Fantasy 16 trailer, a trailer that has been teased by Yoshi P for a while. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. We obviously spent quite a bit of time on this on the Relic Grind this past Thursday. So if you want to watch that, you can get that on YouTube or on ReadyCheckRadio.com, where we go into in-depth to what all of us thought about this. Obviously, you can get it on all the audio platforms, iTunes, Spotify, all that jazz, too. Click like while you're there. We love you. But I did want to bring it here to get your impressions of this, because obviously you've got a few things going on. The combat, we've got Yoshi P on the team. We've got Koji Fox to help doing translations. Presumably, we're going to be set as far as having a decent story, as long as Creative Business Unit 3 does what they do. We've got Soken doing the music, so we're probably covered there. But one of the more divisive things here is that we do have the combat designer from Devil May Cry doing the combat here. And from everything we're seeing in the trailer, it does look to stick to that DMC type combat and a more single-player experience. Not even something single-player-ish like Final Fantasy 15 was, where you still had a party, even if you were just primarily Noctis. This seems to be very, very much single-player, and with a DMC-style combat system, there's kind of that argument going on right now of, is that Final Fantasy? Like, is it Final Fantasy anymore? Yad, what'd you think watching the trailer?
I really liked it. It was flashy. It had a good amount of what the gameplay is going to look like. Had a vague idea of what's going on in the story, enough to whet your appetite. The visuals on the giant critters was amazing.
Giant critters.
Yeah, the giant critters. I mean, I don't know what to call them at this point.
Hardcore Final Fantasy fan,
I mean,
right there.
Am I supposed to call them primals like in 14, or are they called, summons? Because they're not really summons.
I believe they're called icons in this one.
Are they called icons?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So the icons look really nice.
Critters.
I mean, it looks like you turn into them. So, I mean, are we playing the Phoenix?
So no. What the speculation is right now is Phoenix is the boy that we are protecting initially, and that we are probably Ifrit. Now, whether we're actually summoning them or turning into them, like, we don't know. And there does seem to be like very Street Fighter icon fights going on where, you know, like they have a health bar at the top and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm sure we're going to do a lot more speculation after analyzing the trailer on next week's show, because literally the trailer dropped 40 minutes before we were doing the show this past week.
Right. Which
I'm excited for it, obviously, as a Final Fantasy fan. But one of the things I did say on the Relic Grind, Dom, and I don't know if you agree, is I love Devil May Cry. I love DMC. I love Final Fantasy. But when I want to play Final Fantasy, I go play Final Fantasy. When I want to play Devil May Cry, I go play Devil May Cry. I'm looking for two different things out of those games.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to feel, booting up a Final Fantasy game and basically playing a high fantasy Devil May Cry. Like, I don't know if that's going to jive in my head when it comes out next summer.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either, but sometimes change is good. I know change is scary, but I don't know. I'm still looking more forward to 7 Part 2 than I am this, but I am looking forward to this. I don't want to undermine that, but I'm looking more forward to 7 Part 2.
Right. And I mean they have changed how Final Fantasy games played multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're
But this is kind of like the first time we lose the idea or the concept of a party.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean, when I say party, I'm not talking about like turn-based. I'm not talking about active time battles. I'm not talking about systems. Like, even in Final Fantasy 15, although you controlled Noctis and you could, to a limited degree, tell your friends what to do, and we've seen that in 13 with the exception of Lightning Returns. We've actually started seeing that since like 12, right, where you had gambit systems and things like that.
You had your boys,
but we do lose the narrative concept of a party of people traveling together and all that extra time of character and relationship development that you get when you do that. That does make Final Fantasy, to me, a more compelling narrative most of the time when it's well executed. They've got a great narrative team on this in my book, but it's hard to feel like it doesn't lose something by kind of, if it turns out to be as single player as it looks, it's hard to feel like it doesn't lose a little something in that transition.
I mean, I guess it also depends on how well written the story is.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So, so we'll have to see.
That is another huge selling point, is the story, because you look at Lightning, right? That whole Lightning trilogy. I love the story of Lightning trilogy, like all of them. The story is absolutely fantastic. The gameplay, awful. Probably one of the worst things I've ever dealt with in my life. I forced myself through the gameplay because I love the story. So
yeah,
so
and Lightning Returns, the last one, does kind of just become a single player game as you finish off that whole story.
Yeah.
Certainly, I mean, I'm going to pre-order this and stuff, but I don't know if I'm entirely buying in to the new direction yet.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Jan, watch it, don't play it.
Watch it, don't play it?
Yeah. For Lightning. For Lightning.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So for 16, or do we know if it's on both PS5 and PS4, or is it PS5
It is
only?
not. So initially, it's going to be PlayStation 5 only.
Okay.
This was actually confirmed the first trailer we got, where they had text on the screen saying that this was captured from a PlayStation 5, and then at the end, it said that it was going to be on PlayStation 5 only and no other platforms for a limited time. So it's a timed exclusive thing. They are not going to put it on the PlayStation 4 initially. So if you don't have a PS5, you ain't playing this on day one.
So I got to find a PS5 for the wife.
But a lot like, Final Fantasy VII Remastered Part 1, where it came out for PC a year and a half later. I still don't think you're going to see it on PlayStation 4. I don't really see them launching it in summer of next year, then potentially a year and a half down the road, backporting it to the PlayStation 4. I don't think I see that. I mean, maybe they'll surprise me, but I definitely would see it on PC at that point. All right, let's finish up.
I need to buy a PS5 for the wife.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're gonna need to do that. Let's talk about some miscellaneous news before we finish it all up today. Not a lot of info on this one, but we do have a name from BioWare for the next Dragon Age, called Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Yod, what's this all about?
So I've loosely played the Dragon Age games, not as much as I do Mass Effect, but the Dreadwolf is another name for a guy named Solus, who is supposedly some kind of elven god dude. So we know that it's roughly revolving around him as the antagonist, I believe. If I remember correctly, and it's been a minute since I played the last Inquisition, but I think you could have him in your party there, because there was this bald elven dude I remember that, and I seem to vaguely remember him being, soulless. So, if you're into the Dragon Age stuff, you're gonna really get it right off the bat. Um, and it's gonna have deep lore meaning. If you're not about it, and you pick up Dreadwolf, from what I understand, they're gonna play it off so that you get introduced to the character.
Yeah, from their official post, they say, if you're
Yeah.
new to Dragon Age, you have no need to worry about not having met our antagonist just yet. He'll properly introduce himself when the time is right. But we did hint at his return when we announced hashtag the Dreadwolf Rises back in 2018.
Yeah, he's if I remember the right character, he's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easily my favorite Dragon Age character. Erica in chat saying the same thing. Well, maybe not Erica's. Erica's saying that Solus was most people's favorite character. I don't know if Erica is claiming that it's theirs. How about a big oof behind this one? Jason Winter would absolutely love this. So we have talked multiple times on this show about Abandoned. Back when a lot of people thought it was Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Or another code for a Kojima thing. And there was all this stuff on Twitter, and then all these internet detectives, and all of us were highly dubious on the show that it was anything. And then they were going to have that app to advertise it, and then that got delayed. And then there was going to be this app that did that, and then that got delayed. And the GameSpot put out a scathing piece yesterday. Absolutely scathing piece written by Mark Delaney, posted over on GameSpot yesterday, called Abandoned. Blue Box dev behind PS5's Abandoned misled fans, solicited business deals in toxic chat room, and just absolutely eviscerates Blue Box. And specifically Hassan Karaman, the guy that was kind of like the one making the video. Remember we played that, Yod, where he was like against a white wall, and he was like, "I'm a real person."
Yeah,
because there was
not
that
Kojima,
whole thing.
I'm a real person. Yeah.
Yeah, unreal. They eviscerated him. Talk to people. There's a lot of according to a source, but it's a very well written piece breaking it down. It just alleges this behavior of a Discord server and a tight-knit, I'm going to invite people to be part of this community that I know are really passionate about the game, but I'm going to screen them and keep the audience small, and I'm going to tell them, hey, I'll give you previews and show you this stuff, and then it would get leaked, and he would tell the public it has nothing to do with this, and people in the chat would question him, and then they would get banned for questioning him. I mean, absolutely just saying, hey, if you are waiting for this game, don't. It is a mess, and it's not even being worked on. That's all of this is alleged in the piece. Absolutely
You
atrocious.
think maybe it was the 12-year-old in chat that kept leaking shit? Just a thought.
Yeah.
You know?
Unreal. Unreal.
So what are you trying to tell me, Mike, is this game was abandoned?
Well, the people in the chat said that they should just call it wall-bandoned because all they ever saw screenshots were walls.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely.
Then, as I was reading the article, them talking about how he constantly was on there playing Rainbow
Siege.
Six, Siege and all this stuff, and it's like, before they even mentioned it in the article, I was like, so when does he have time to work on stuff?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we figured he wasn't working on anything because he was on PSN playing Siege all the time. It's like, coming from an art background and stuff, it takes a long time to do this stuff.
He was having people sign NDAs, and that's fine. I've got no problem with that as long as both parties agree.
Mm-hmm.
But GameSpot, he got a copy of the NDA, and if you look at it, you're like, this ain't legally binding. There's not a court in the world that would enforce this. And there's so many grammatical errors in it that you're just like, he had to have just written this up real quick and send it. Netherlands and redacted, located in redacted, so my name and my address, redacted in GameSpot's copy. Agree all information shared between the two parties, PARTY, apostrophe S, R2 kept strictly private. No, I didn't misread that. Agree all information shared between the two parties, R2 kept strictly private.
That's parties, Mike, not parties.
Apostrophe S, it's missing the word B. None of the exchanged information can be shared with the public or any third party without the approval of the beholder of the information regarding that matter. What? Wait, what? Without the approval of the beholder of the information regarding that matter.
My brain hurts.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, definitely check out the piece. But if you were waiting for that game, it ain't going anywhere. And there are people that were involved saying under anonymity that he's not working on it, and neither are we. So just like the long history that we reviewed on this show of every other product, mostly that company was responsible for, it doesn't come out. Like, they never come to fruition. Hey, we talked about the Dreamcast earlier. Sega has announced a new Mega Drive Mini 2, and it's actually going to have Mega CD games, so if you're looking for that. We don't have a lot of games confirmed for it, but we do have Slipheed, Shining Force CD, which, oh no, that's not behind me on the shelf. That's upstairs. Sonic CD, Mission of the Hidden Souls, Pop Full Mail. Great game. Virtua Racing, that's another one that's upstairs for good reason. It's expensive. Virtua Racing, Bonanza Bros, Shining in the Darkness, Thunder Force 4, Magical to Taruruto, and Fantasy Zone, which is a new Mega Drive port. There's also a game that they're not that hasn't been released that they're not going to say anything about yet on what it is.
And there's no Western release.
A mysterious new
yet, right?
work. No, not yet. But there you go. $75-ish.
Now, is it
this
gonna
October?
Is it gonna be able to play
in Japan
games if you own the physical?
No, is it? I don't think so.
I don't know, because the image of it is a little misleading because it looks like it has a cartridge slot.
It looks like it has a cartridge slot. Yeah,
it looks like it takes physical media.
I would be stunned if it did.
I would too.
I would be absolutely stunned. I don't think it does. Otherwise, why? This is mini number 2, so certainly they intend to do a third one.
Yeah. I just want a Dreamcast Mini.
And I love my Dreamcast. That's still in my living room. My Dreamcast is still in my living room.
I mean, it's the best way to play Crazy Taxi. Let's be real.
Mine's still in
outside of the arcade.
Erica says they need to release the original Phantasy Star Online for it. Oh.
You have your Dreamcast in your box still, yo?
Yeah, it's in the box, 2 controllers.
Oh, I have my box and stuff too. Yeah, but mine's actually out in the living room.
No, mine's not plugged in at all. It's in a box.
No, you can't play PSO offline, but there are Blueburst you can play it on PC right now. The Dreamcast servers and the GameCube servers are long since dead. I could go on about PSO. I've told my children being born story to PSO. If you need to hear that again, let me know after the show. I'll be happy to tell you. And then Yod, you got another one here, another kind of retro thing. What is this?
So for $150, you can get a handheld retro console type deal, essentially, that actually does take physical media, and they somehow have all the rights to all kinds of classic games. Now, for $150, plus you have to buy the cartridges, I'm not personally sure, nostalgia is worth that much. But if you do, that's cool. It's got the standard gamepad type setup for classic games, and apparently you can either hold it in horizontal or vertical setup for usage. And I mean, it seems to play a whole boatload of classic arcade games.
Yeah, I mean, this is by Evercade, so some of you may know some of their products in the past, but this is very Switch, Nintendo Switch looking, or Steam Deck looking. Yeah.
And that is what I thought of at first. I was like, wait a minute, didn't the Steam Deck already get announced?
I actually like Evercade. I would have to see what is available for this. But it's one of those stupid things too that there's a limited edition that they're making 5,000 of, and that's like $180 or 180 pounds. And then the regular version of it is 129 pounds. So I don't know. I'm still my Steam Deck should be in the next 60 days, so I'll be busy on the
Steam
handheld
Deck,
front. Yeah, still waiting. Hey, man, I had to get the big one, right, with all the memory and stuff. So,
but yeah,
I gotta wait.
This thing, it's Evercade EXP, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually takes cartridges, so you don't need all that memory or hard drive space.
Right, but I gotta wonder, like, the cartridges you got to get off them too, right?
Right.
And
Probably,
so I wonder what the licensing deal is. Like, are you going to be getting, the Legend of Zelda on there? Probably not.
No.
Are you going to get Joust for the Atari? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They're more than willing to license that out.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be, I'd have to look. I'm way out of date with Evercade's library, and that would be more what I'm interested in.
Right.
Although it's kind of a hard sell for me when I have a Steam Deck coming.
That
and
is
you just,
the problem. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
You just emulate the shit out of whatever you want to play, provided you own it. And you don't violate copyright laws or any of that stuff, chat. Don't ever do it.
That's bad. That's bad. Don't.
It's one thing if it falls off a truck somewhere, it's another thing to actually do it.
Am I getting the proper ones or a knockoff? Are you talking about Steam Deck?
No, I think they're talking about the EXP. If they're doing actual Joust, or is it Juiced?
Joust. Joust.
It's Joust with the emphasis on the ow.
Yeah. It's like an
I
accent on the
believe
top.
they're actually the old school, actual games.
Yeah, I mean, they do, in their trailer on YouTube, they do show some, games that you're going to be familiar with.
Yeah.
But like not, you're not going to see Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that. So
once again, is it $150 worth of nostalgia plus cartridges?
No, I'm spending $650 on the Steam Deck, and I could, legally emulate stuff on there.
Questionably.
Legally, because I would never put things on there that I didn't own. Let's go do Games of the Week. For those of you that don't know, Games of the Week is how we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo here. All three of us hosts are going to give you a game. Could be a video game, could be a board game, could be a trading card game, mobile game, whatever. It's all been done and will continue to be done. And your job is to tell us in the comments who recommended the best game. And if you happen to check them out, let us know if you agree with our recommendations. Yad, we're going to go to you first, sir.
Well, they just released Ninja Gaiden on Game Pass, so I've been
they did
bopping around in there.
Sigma 2 and 3, all over there, aren't they?
Yep. So that's Ninja Gaiden for me.
That's going to be a hard one to beat, I think. I'm going to go ahead and give you Soldiers, and I gotta spell this for you. Souldiers. So like your soul, Jers. Metroidvania, kind of retro style graphics, just came out. You can grab it on Steam. I think it's got a console release coming up too. I grabbed it on Steam though. Absolutely beautiful game, fantastic abilities. I'm enjoying it. I haven't beaten it yet, but I've put in some hours already. That's going to be my recommendation. What do you got there, Zista?
I have some Cheetos jalapeno mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, you
Oh
lose.
my god, that is the box. Oh my god.
You lose.
I lose. Come on, I win.
You lose.
Zista wins. Chat says Zista wins.
Erica says Zista wins. Erica, much love, but you kind of earned that. Gotta time out Erica for 600 seconds.
Did I DoorDash that? No, I actually had it because we were talking about a pre-show and I forgot all about it. I saw something on my Twitter feed where we were talking about it in the pre-show. And then I bought 2 boxes of it because it was like a sale, buy one, get one. So I was like, all right. So when I bought it, I bought this months ago and I ate 1 box. And then this box I just remembered has been sitting in my cabinet because I can't bring myself to eat it again. But yeah, I just thought it would be really funny to just go grab that during.
You gotta keep that. That's gonna be worth something one day.
Yeah.
You can't redeem points and have me time out somebody that's already been timed out, Baron.
Put some channel points in. I'll sign it. I'll autograph it and send it to someone.
There we go.
Don't. The U.S. Postal Service isn't going to let that go through. Some dog's going to be like, there's explosives here. There's explosives.
That belongs on the shelf. All right, there we go.
No, it just causes explosive diarrhea. That's what it is. That's going to do it for today's Gaming Gumbo. Hope you enjoyed it. Of course, we'll be back next week with the Relic Grind, our Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix show on Thursday at 7 p.m. and another episode of Gaming Gumbo next Saturday. The following Saturday, we will be off. It's Torchwick's high school graduation party, so no show that night. But we'll see you next week just fine. Until then, Dom, where can everybody find you?
You can find me down below, Twitter at it's Zista, XIZTA.
Yad.
Yada Works on Twitter. Yada Works on Facebook. And in 2 weeks, back here on Gaming Gumbo.
No, not in 2 weeks. In 3 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. My bad.
Yeah, 2 weeks we don't have a show.
Oh, yes. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I can't math right now.
Dear God. I'm Mike Byrne. I don't even have this queued up right. You can follow me right there at Magic Man 1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, and you'll know every time we go live. Till next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.